This is Horseshoe Lagoon in Wangaratta, and it's drying up, leading to lots of stranded carp. But can I catch any? Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now I filmed a video in this lagoon a few years back fishing for carp, but the lagoon was full. The water was right up here, probably 1.5 meters to 2 meters deeper than what it is now. I was using a float and some worms and I caught a huge big carp and lost another one. But now, it hasn't had any water flooding into it for a couple of years. The water's gone right down and I can see carp in here. In fact, while filming my introduction now, I just saw one swirl just over there. Yesterday, as many of you know, I love wildlife photography. I love photography, but wildlife photography and bird photography is something that I love the most. And yesterday I came down here with my bird camera. This is in Wangaratta, so I'm only 5 minutes from home. Yesterday I came down here with my bird camera and I went for a walk along the bank and I could see lots of carp. They were just sitting there with their noses just under the water. There was 3 or 4 up there. There was a couple down here. There was a couple in here. I don't know whether they were stressed or what they were doing. There's not much water left in the dam. In fact, there's something moving right there while I'm talking to you now. There's a carp just in there. I can see the swirls. I don't know whether they were stressed, in which case they won't feed. I don't know. This could go either way today. I may or may not catch a carp, but you've got to be in it to win it. So let's go and throw a couple of lines in and see if we can catch a fish before the lagoon dries up. I reckon I might just try here. This is where I saw that carp swirling around a minute ago. Now, because I'm walking in, I'm not carrying much stuff. I don't have a chair, a landing net, my rod holder, nothing. I'm hoping I can get down there to beach any fish. I'm hoping it's not going to be too muddy. There's a log there I can sit on. It's probably got some creepy crawlies living in it. I haven't even finished setting up and it's starting to rain. Beautiful. Right, I've got a fork-shaped stick in the ground here. This rod, totally unweighted and just a little bit of bread on it. And I'll throw that just out there, nice and gently. I'm going to go a bit further than that. Now I won't be able to cast it because it'll be too wet and heavy. Oh no, it's going to work. Right, that one can just sit there just like that. Alright, my bread is just sitting out there. Right, rod number 2 is the gold standard, the paternoster rig, with a couple of janjuck worms on it, and I'll put that out in the middle where it's likely to be deepest. And I think it's probably not more than 30 or 40 centimetres deep at the moment. There's a carp out here. It's only about 1 metre from my bread. Can you see just the swirls just under the surface there? I'd like to go down towards my rod in case it grabs the bread, but I'm worried that because the water's so shallow, if I go walking down there, it might spook the fish. Just standing here watching my bait and something swirled right there. I didn't see it. I'm going to guess it was a carp, but it could have been a turtle. It's still there. It's a carp. I just saw it. It's a carp. Well, bread didn't work, worms aren't working. Let's try a bubble float corn combination, a bit of sweet corn, only a small dropper of about 20 centimetres, just because it's so shallow, it doesn't need to be deep. Just put it out there and see what happens. Big swirl out there right near me, where my worms are. My line pulled tight really fast and then went slack. I don't know whether I had a bite on the worms or whether a fish swam past and just bumped the line. No, the line's pulling tight. There's definitely a fish playing with it then. Definitely had a bite on the worms. Now it's gone really slack. That was a definite bite then. Here he goes. It's pulling tight and got him! I've hooked up! Ha ha! It's not even a big one. Some of the carp that I saw here yesterday were enormous. It's a bloody big yellow belly! Can you believe that? Wow! I've come here carp fishing in Horseshoe Lagoon in Wangaratta and I've pulled out a thumping great yellow belly out of a lagoon that's drying up. When I say thumping great, it's not big, it's probably 37, 38 centimetres. Certainly big enough to go in my fridge. I'm keeping that for a feed. You beauty! Wow! When I first saw it, the first thing I thought was, it looks like a yellow belly, but I thought I won't say that, because surely not in this water. I'm taking a million photos here. I can't believe that, folks. I am just absolutely gobsmacked. The water is really low. It's drying up. It's probably not even 1.5 feet deep. It hasn't had any fresh water flowing into it for a couple of years. And I've caught a nice yellow belly. I'm going home with a feed of fresh fish. You beauty. Right, there's my yellow belly. I've taken my corn rod out because the wind blew it into the snags. I'll just put some fresh worms on the short rod. Then I'll put some fresh worms on the long rod. Then I'll put them both back in. There's absolutely no point whatsoever in me releasing that yellow belly, because this lagoon will be dry in a couple of months, I reckon. If not, it'll be that low and warm once the weather warms up that the fish are going to die anyway. There's a fish kill on the way for this lagoon. I doubt whether there's too many yellow belly in here. I think that might even be the only yellow belly that I've ever caught in a lagoon. That was an unexpected surprise. I know people are probably thinking, you know, I wouldn't eat a fish out of that dirty water, but I reckon it'll be fine. I've eaten yabbies out of worse. Righto. Corn rod going back in. I've lengthened the dropper a little bit. The thought behind that is if it touches the bottom, it might just stop it drifting so fast, although I think it's still going to be a little bit too short to touch the bottom. I'm on a high. Look at the carp with its lips out of the water out there. It's literally 50 centimetres from my float. I was just about to send Dad a photo of that yellow belly and say, you won't believe where I caught this, but I put my phone down and pay attention, because that's very close to my bait, that fish. There's another one right there where my line's entering the water as well. I can just see some swirls. Something big swimming around out there. That's not too far from my worms. Only a couple of metres. There's something just swimming around in really close here. I wonder what happens if I just put that there. Probably nothing happens. Just had a bite on my worms. There it goes. Something's playing with my worms, and got him. Yep, I've got him. It's wrapped around something, but I've got him. Surely it's not going to be another yellow bass free. It's got to be a carp, doesn't it? It's big. If it's a yellow belly, it's a very big one. It's a big old carp, I'm pretty sure. It's a big something. It's got a fair bit of weight in this fish. Oh. It's not fighting a lot, it's just heavy. Maybe that's because it's so shallow, it just can't fight properly. It's a big old mud marlin. As expected, I'm just watching my other float here. There was a fish just swimming around close here a minute ago, so I put my corn and float right there near the edge. Look at that, it's bellied. It's bellying out there. It's so shallow. Careful it doesn't snap the line here. I didn't bring a landing net because I just had too much stuff to carry as it was. Although right now I'm wishing that I'd carried an esky in with me. My esky's in the car. I might go for a walk in a minute and take that yellow belly and put it under some ice. Come on, Carpio. Yeah. One yellow belly, one Al Carpio. And there we have it. Put my camera off my head. Oh, I dropped it on my fishing rod. Tom got this, I'm glad that's not a graphite rod. Oh well. You can see him. Now I'm going to dong him on the scone. Right, I just walked back to the car and got my esky to put my fish in. I'm going to go to worms on both rods. I've caught one yellow belly and one carp, and they're both on the worms. So worms are out fishing bread and corn, and now that I know there might be a sneaky yellow belly in here, I've got more chance of catching it on worms than I have on corn. So I'm going to go the double worms. But I'll leave the float on. I'll go worms under a float. Now, if anybody likes the look of this spot and wants to come here, whether it be fishing for carp, hoping for a yellow belly, or photographing the bird life down here, listen very carefully on how to get here. If you Google search Horseshoe Lagoon, Wangaratta, it won't bring you to this spot. It'll take you to another Horseshoe Lagoon that you can't access. It's incorrect. Google Dale Street, Wangaratta. You'll see Dale Street. It's a short little street. It comes to a dead end. The last 100 metres or so of Dale Street is really rough. You're probably best off to walk along it unless you've got a four-wheel drive. But go to Dale Street, go to the end of Dale Street, and you'll see a big sign that says Horseshoe Lagoon. There's a photo there of a kingfisher eating a shrimp, and there's a little bit of a walking track that'll bring you down to the lagoon here. So don't Google search Horseshoe Lagoon, Wangaratta. Google search Dale Street, Wangaratta. Go to the very end of Dale Street and you'll see the gate and a sign, and you can just walk in that way. And I suspect if you are hoping to come here that you get here pretty soon, because I think this is going to be struggling for water later this spring unless we get some big downpours. Getting towed. Look at me float. It's getting towed. Someone's towing that. Oh, just let it go. No, it's still got it. And got him. What have I got? Oh, whatever I got. Oh, I lost it. First bite for ages. There's still most of my worms are there. I put it back out there. There's not a second to lose. That could have even been a turtle. Quite often when you're float fishing, the slack line will go under a bit of a branch or something, and then when you go to reel it in, it's got to come in under that branch. And I think that's what happened then. But there was definitely something towing that float there then. Well, I've been here about 3.5 hours. Both of the fish that I caught were caught in the first hour, and in the last couple of hours it's just been really quiet with just a couple of nibbles. I am going to be coming back here very soon, but I'm going to come earlier in the morning because early mornings seem to be best. I came here catching carp in a drying lagoon. I'm going home with a fresh feed of yellow belly, and I'm super happy about that. Thank you all very much for watching. See a big mouth over there. Right in front of it, I'm right in front of it, I'm right in front of it. He's right over it, he's right over it. What you doing? Oh, there's the float, I've got a bite, I've got a bite. Float's gone under, float's gone under. Oh, that was the closest. I've had a few bites, but that was definitely the closest. Oh, I put it back, but I don't know where he went. You really got to get the float close to the fish. It's sight fishing almost. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, he's on it, he's on it. The float's still under. Got him! Yes! Whoa! It's taken me a while. Now, here's a big carp. That is a big carp. Oh. And I'm using 50-pound braid here. Oh no, my float come off. I can see it floating around out there. I've only got one float. One thing I've noticed using a float with braided line is that it doesn't grip the line properly. It's really easy to slide. Look at the size of this big golden coloured mud marlin. It's actually quite good using 50-pound braid. I know I can just really put the stick on him. The only thing I'm worried about is I don't want the hook to pull out of his mouth. I wanted to skull drag him up the bank, but I think what will happen, he's so big and heavy, I think that the hook will pull through his lip and then I'll lose the fish. So I'm going to have to be brave. Go down here. Even with the fish, one thing I've noticed with carp is that they have very soft lips, and even with fish grips, the fish grips often pull through their lip. Come on, buddy. Right, he's just pinned in the top of the lip there. Very fat and healthy carp. I want to say I'll be glad to get him out of the waterway, but the problem is there's 50 million others in here as well. Anyway, come here. Shh, shh. Just calm down, will ya? Oh, yeah, me. Big, big, big carp. I might get my phone and get a picky. Got it.